Obama's so scared of Trey Gowdy he just made Susan Rice do the unthinkable for him. Barack Obama is feeling the heat from Trey Gowdy and the House Intel Committee's investigation into his administration's alleged criminal activity, unmasking President Donald Trump's campaign officials. Obama's been acting like a guilty man, sending all materials that relate to those actions to his unbuilt library, where they are sealed for 5 years. Now, as Susan Rice gets ready to testify before Trey Gowdy, Obama just made her do the unthinkable for him in an act of utter desperation. As we reported yesterday, Barack Obama likely had his daughters sent to Palm Springs to avoid the backlash after Trey Gowdy had Susan Rice on his hot seat. Rice was to go under oath today after previously refusing to testify. Once Trey Gowdy said he'd subpoena her, Rice changed her tune and admitted she obtained FISA warrants and unmasked American citizens. She also said she'd testify, with allegedly nothing to hide, until late yesterday. Then, in the 11th hour, she changed her mind again. Susan Rice won't come in voluntarily, and Fox News legal expert, attorney Greg Jarrett, who has been covering this case closely, said, "This tells me that lawyers have gotten involved. Lawyers probably told her to clam up because she's in legal jeopardy. At least one crime was committed here and likely many more. I would imagine that once they determine who did it, unmasked, here, they are going to be indicted." Jarrett dropped a bombshell as he continued, saying, "Now is it going to be a member of the Obama administration? It would have to be because they are the only ones who had access, top Obama administration officials, to the intelligence that actually does the collection." Jarrett is skirting around the edges somewhat as he infers a few things. First, he says Rice was told to clam up, and secondly, he says Rice will testify that her actions came from top Obama officials. Really, what Mr. Jarrett knows, what any reasonable person knows, is that the only person Rice answered to was the former president, Barack Obama. So, who really told Rice to pull out of testifying? Sure, her attorneys may have had that advice, but she'll be subpoenaed, looking even more guilty. More likely, the force behind this last-minute action was the Obama camp, and since Barack Obama is an attorney himself, he knows he is in big trouble with Rice's testimony. It's ironic since the mainstream media and the Democrats have been using the Watergate analogy when discussing their fake narrative about Trump-Russia collusion. If anyone is fitting the Watergate scenario, it's Barack Hussein Obama. In the end, the investigators' big Watergate question was how high up does this conspiracy go? As with Nixon, it is with Obama. Their closest advisors are accused of criminal activity, hijacking their opponent's campaign. And the only conclusion is, of course, the president is the only one with the means and motive to order the criminal actions. Obama ordered Rice to wiretap Trump Tower and to obtain the FISA warrants that were at first turned down by the High Court. Obama's motive was to help save his legacy from his nemesis, Donald Trump, by aiding the Hillary Clinton campaign. Hillary was to be Obama's third term. So, just like Nixon who was up for re-election, their motives are the same. Anyone who thinks Obama isn't freaked out about this is delusional. History has a way of repeating itself, and Barack Obama is following in the steps of Richard Nixon. Old Tricky Dick had one huge advantage over Obama. He left Gerald Ford as his vice president, so when he resigned, Ford, as the new president, officially pardoned him. I don't think President Trump will be so inclined toward his predecessor. No, there will be no pardoning. It's time to drop the hammer on Barack Obama and his minions and see what sticks. Where there's smoke, there's fire, and Susan Rice is all one needs to burn Barack Obama, for good.